I have a really weird diet history, right? Really weird because of my upbringing. First of all, we changed our diet so many times in my family home. But today I'm only going to share with you the weirdness about my journey with dairy because that's just one of many main ingredients that I've sort of had in my life and then out of my life and then in my life and then out of my life. And so most recently, I have sadly discovered that I can no longer have my lattes and my flat whites with dairy milk, which I have been thoroughly enjoying since 2012. Prior to 2012, I had been on soy milk since age 15. And that was because my parents became vegan at some point when I was a teenager. We all moved over to soy milk. I thoroughly hated soy milk, and then I thoroughly enjoyed soy milk. It was like the only milk I could have in my coffees, and I was like, no way, I hate dairy milk so much. And then when I was 32, I discovered I actually had an intolerance to soy. So not cool for a vegetarian at the time. I then went back to dairy milk, and 6 months ago discovered that I actually now have an intolerance to dairy milk. Oh, the joys, the joys. So one thing that I really, really struggled with was enjoying my coffee with not dairy milk and not soy milk. I then had to try almond milk. So there you go. There's lots of different brands of almond milk. This isn't the nicest. It's not too bad. But I buy the So Good almond milk because it does not have maltodextrin in it. And maltodextrin is potentially, I'm pretty sure it's got gluten in it, and I'm gluten intolerant as well. Oh, the joys. Okay, so this is why I buy the So Good almond milk. When I'm out and about though, if I go to a coffee shop and I'm enjoying with friends, I don't really care what almond milk they use. Sometimes they use really yummy almond milk, other times really gross almond milk. So it's a bit hit and miss with almond milk when I'm out and about. But one that I do notice is a really nice brand is one called the Alternative Dairy Co. I think that's the brand, and that's actually really nice. I'm guessing they add flavors to it. I don't know. Anyhow, so what I actually want to share with you is how to survive when you're going through this change. If you have to stop having dairy because you've become intolerant or found out you now have an intolerance, or maybe you've always had an intolerance, how to actually still enjoy a nice coffee with an alternative milk, and try to create that nice creamy flavor that we get from milk, because that's really, really one of the big things that I really enjoyed. I had to get used to a new flavor, but also a new texture, and I was like, how do I recreate it? And I finally found a way. So far this morning, just before I poured out my delicious hot coffee, I am about to heat up my milk. So I will do that and I'll be back. So here is my milk being frothed as normal, because you can actually do that with almond milk. So there you go. I'm a bit lazy and just usually let that sit until it's done. And we're done. What I do love about alternative milk is that it does not leave. Sorry about that noise. I was just cleaning out the coffee machine. All right, so what I do love about alternative milk is that it does not leave this horrible extra creamy residue all over the coffee spout. It's very, very easy to clean. So now I'm going to show you. I've got my milk, I've got my coffee, and I'm going to look for a favorite mug. Which mug? I'm going to use this big tall one. This beautiful big tall one. These are very special mugs to me. My mum gifted them to me. So let's show you once again what we're going to do. So we're going to pour the coffee in. And I recently learned a little trick. Apparently you don't want to lose the little bit that's in that glass. So you pour some of your milk in. Apparently that gives off a little bit more of that nice coffee flavor. And then I pour my milk in. And I'll show you a little trick that I found along the way. I'm going to get it out of the cupboard. I've got this special ingredient in a random jar, because that's what I do. I use these random old pasta sauce jars. But guess what what that might be? They're called wafers, even though they're not wafers. They're not actually wafers. They're more like buttons. These are cacao wafers. Like, if you want to buy them, that's what you're gonna have to Google, cacao wafers. I call them cacao buttons because they look more like buttons to me. And by popping one of these into my almond milk coffee, it brings about a beautiful, creamy, buttery texture to the coffee. So actually it's very similar to the bullet coffee that was all the rage not long ago, where people were adding butter into their black coffee. This would have kind of like a similar effect because it is actually butter. It's cacao butter wafers actually, and it gives a really beautiful, nice, creamy texture. So that's what we're gonna do. And I've been completely daggy and popped some into the lid, and all you need is just one, and it will sit and melt in your coffee and provide a beautiful, beautiful creamy texture. I will stir it and just let it sit for a bit and then enjoy it, and it is so yummy. It does add a little bit of a chocolatey flavor to your coffee, but that's kind of also what you want when you're getting used to something like a new flavor, like of dairy, alternative to dairy. That's really what you want. You kind of just need all the things. Now, if you enjoy sugar or alternative sugars or honey in your coffee, go ahead and do that. I do enjoy honey occasionally in my coffee, but mostly I just really love my coffee just as is. I just really love the coffee flavor on its own, and I don't need the sweetness. It's very rare that I do. Sometimes when I do, I like to add a little actual chocolate powder in, up to you, or some cacao powder, however you like to have it. But the secret ingredient that I wanted to share really was that cacao butter wafer button. So there you go. Google and order some and just enjoy your new adventure with your coffee.